Hello there. Today I'm in Bordeaux. I'm tasting some of the en-primeur wines from the Prado de Lervaux family, and the wine I'm looking at here, this is Chateau St Pierre. A wine that sometimes causes some confusion because you have quite a large property on the Merlot Saint Pierre that is a Saint Julien. However, this is a tiny property on the plateau in Pomerol, right in the centre of Pomerol. In fact, you see on the label there's the church of Saint Pierre, which is right in the heart of Pomerol itself. And as I say, 3 hectares. The largest, I think the largest plot of vines is immediately across the road from La Fleur Petrus. So you certainly can't fault the terroir here. I think this is a wine that, because it's not made on a large scale, is not particularly well known, but it can be absolutely beautiful. So the plantings here are predominantly Merlot. I think the blend here is about 85% Merlot with 15% of Cabernet Franc making up the balance on that. And it ages about 45% in new oak. And just recently they've started aging a proportion of the wine, probably I think about 20% in amphorae as well, which will help to just perhaps give a little bit more fruitiness and make the structure a little softer. So let's have a look at the wine, shall we? In terms of colour, you've got a medium to deep, dark, purple ruby colour. Alcohol, if I remember correctly, is 13.5%. And swelling it there, the wine is quite readily forming tears on the glass. So let's see what we make of the aroma, shall we? The aromas are at a really beautiful stage. They're very perfumed, perhaps hints of violet, and almost a sort of a beautiful, juicy, black to red cherry, high ripeness red cherry note. And just sitting behind that, there are hints of cedar, there's a little vanilla, and some sweet spices there. You know, perhaps just a little bit of nutmeg, along with some sort of chocolatey richness. I think the wine has undergone its malolactic conversion in barrel, and that just helps to give roundness and richness to the wine's aromas. So let's have a taste. Just here there is a beautiful, rich Pomerol nature to the wine. There's almost a hint of earthiness to the texture, perhaps a tiny touch of sort of savoury meatiness, and then behind that, notes of dark red and black cherry, hints of black plum, and nice ripe damson sort of notes. There's a lifted perfume to the whole thing. Alcohol is balanced, and the acidity gives enough freshness. Again, those earthy tones are just coming through on the finish, where there's a mocha note. The tannins are just so smooth. They're almost melting in my mouth. Now, it's not to say there aren't tannins, but the grip it's giving isn't astringent and harsh. There are delicate notes of sweet spice, perhaps a tiny pepperiness. The finish has some fresh red fruit, which gives it a lovely length. I'm unconvinced as to the ageability of the 2024s, but at the same time, this is a wine that is very accessible now, will provide great enjoyment, and I'm not sure that Saint Pierre is a wine that I'd want to keep much more than sort of 15 to 20 years anyway. This to me has a more fruit-forward style than maybe it has had in the past. To be honest, I think it's updating the style of the wine a little, making it a little more modern, a little more fruity and acceptable. And I think this is the kind of wine that would provide an awful lot of pleasure. So thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the tasting. If you have, do please press the like button. If you'd like to watch more of these videos, do please sign up and follow us on YouTube. If you have any comments, do please pop them in the comments box below. We'd love to hear what you think about the wines, the tastings, or anything else that relates to them. Any friends you have who you think might like to watch the video, it would be great if you'd pass it on to them. We'd love that endorsement from you. So that you can find Saint Pierre once it becomes available, I will leave a note in the comments box below to the Wine Searcher webpage for this vintage of this wine. You'll be able to see who's selling it and at what prices. And hopefully some of the other information on that page will also be useful to you in terms of making a decision about buying wines on Pomerol. So thank you again for watching, and I do hope you'll come and join us for another tasting in the very near future. Till then, bye for now.